Welcome to the feature clip on the My Personal Settings feature in SAP Business One, Release 9.3. The main goal of personalization is to deliver content and functionality that matches specific user needs or interests. And in SAP Business One, Release 9.3, we have made it easy for users to adjust the interface according to their profile. Let's start by introducing you to the changes to General Settings. The General Settings configuration logic has been separated from User Settings and now only reflects company-wide system settings. If these settings are changed, a super user can choose to apply the changes only to new users and users who follow the company's default settings. Or it also affects all users where the user setup and user default values are reset. This allows personalized user settings to be changed in one centralized place, and if company-wide settings are changed, no disruption of user settings need to be applied to existing users. It also increases productivity when company-wide changes need to be enforced across an entire organization. There are a number of enhancements to the user's setup environment. Firstly, there is a number of user-specific options that previously was accessed via General Settings. A new icon in the toolbar allows you to easily access the user setup form. This provides better transparency and ease of use when comparing company-level settings and user-level settings, given all users gain access rights to managing their own personal preferences. This, of course, is subject to the appropriate authorizations. By default, every user has the authorization to change their personal settings. The User Defaults form has been extended to include a Display tab to enable users to define the system skin style, color, font size, and language, for example. Here is an example business scenario. Jason Butler from OEC Computers is a super user and defines company-wide system settings, such as color theme, language, and font. Jason also creates user defaults to fit the language and date and time format for their international departments and branches. Brad Thompson is a UK-based employee who has recently relocated to the Germany branch. Brad would like to make personalized preferences using the My Personal Settings feature to enable the English language and a smaller font. Let's now have a look at this business scenario in SAP Business One 9.3. We are now logged in as Jason Butler, who is a super user in SAP Business One. Under Administration, System Initialization, General Settings, and on the Display tab, Jason would like to change the company-wide language settings to English UK, and also the color theme to Classic. Under the Font and Background tab, we would also like to enlarge the font size to 11. On selecting Update, I have the option to apply these settings to new users and users who have followed the company-wide settings only, or I can enforce these settings across all users, which will reset their user setup and default settings. I'm going to choose to apply these settings to all users. With offices also located in Germany, I'm going to create user defaults to fit the language and date and time format for this location. To do that, I search for user defaults. And under the user defaults window, I'm going to create a new user default setting for our Germany branch. Under the Display tab, I'm going to select the language to be German. One of my employees, Brad Thompson, has relocated from the UK office to Germany, so now I'm going to allocate this user default to Brad's profile. To do this, I search for users, and in Find mode, I'm able to search for Brad's user profile. Under the Defaults field, I can now assign the user defaults for the Germany branch to this user. I am now logged in as Brad Thompson, who has just relocated and logs into the system for the first time in his Germany branch. He then decides to review his calendar for the day. Brad realizes his German is a little rusty and quickly navigates to his user setup settings to personalize his user defaults. By selecting the My Personal Settings icon, he can quickly access his user settings. In the User Setup window and under the Display tab, he can easily change the language settings back to English UK. Brad would also like to change the font size back to 10. With the new My Personal Settings feature, Brad has now easily been able to customize his user default settings to meet his personal requirements and work more effectively. Thank you for your time today, and make sure you check out the other feature clips highlighting SAP Business One Release 9.3.